This lawnmower will not start. It's been sitting for a couple years. I'll show you how to get it started. It's got fresh gas. No matter what I do, it won't start. You could see some combustion smoke here, so I don't suspect that it's a spark plug. We could check the spark, but I'm going to go with the fuel delivery system first. We'll take off the air cleaner. Now that looks pretty dirty right there. I'm going to pull this out and try starting it without the air filter. Give it a pull. I can see combustion, but I'm going to try starting fluid to bypass the system. We'll just give a little spray in the carb. Now we'll check the spark plug. Well, that spark plug was very loose. We're going to tighten it up. So we'll snug it up. We'll connect the spark plug and we'll try starting it. Now we'll pull the spark plug. We can definitely see fuel on a spark plug. Now we're going to check for spark. I'll just lay it against the engine. We'll crank it and see if there's spark. You can see there's plenty of good spark. We'll take out the air filter and expose the carburetor. We'll set this aside and you can see the float bowl. Wipe off the float bowl. Crimp the fuel line so it doesn't flow out. Loosen this nut on the bottom. Be careful when you're pulling this thing down because there's small pieces that can just drop right out. You can take the bolt all the way out, but don't let the bowl drop. You can see the fuel draining out. It'll eventually stop because we have it crimped off. When we pull this bolt out, we're going to check the jet on this. If these holes are clogged, it will not start. The jets look clean. We'll check the bowl next. This is when we're going to pull it down very carefully. Pull it at the gasket and just bring it down just a little bit, but don't bring it down all the way. Keep hold of that float. Make sure the float does not drop. The float will move back and forth like this. On this mower, you can drop the float all the way and this little pin will not fall out. On a lot of mowers, that pin will just drop right out. I took the clamp off the hose to let the gas flow. If I lift the float, the gas stops. If I drop the float, the gas will flow. Everything looks like it's in order here. I clamped the gas hose, now it won't drain out. You can see some dirt in the bottom of the float bowl. Clean all the dirt out of the float bowl. Make sure the jet is clean with a wire. Now we can reassemble everything. Let the gas flow through. We'll make sure there's good compression by doing a compression test. Remove the spark plug, screw in the compression tester. Crank over the engine and check the compression. We're at 90 psi, that looks good. The next test is about 95. We'll disconnect the spark plug and check the drive shaft. Tip it with the carburetor in the air. If you're going to touch the blade, you've got to make sure the spark plug is disconnected. Loosen the nut. We'll take off the blade. Remove the belt for the self-propel. Pull off the pulley. With a wrench, I'll hold it up to the drive shaft and give it a pull. The crankshaft may be a little bent. I'll use the blade to isolate where the bend is. Now you can see the bend on the shaft. Look between the shaft and the blade. We put a mark on the high spot of the shaft, so we'll hit from the other side to straighten it. We'll hit it and straighten it up. Keep checking it and just keep tapping. Keep checking to see if it's straight. Now you can see that's a lot straighter. Now we can put everything back together. We'll put the belt back on, put the blade back on, tighten it up. Put the spark plug back in, crank it. It looks like it might be a timing issue. Sometimes you'll pull it and it'll yank back on the rope. Right there. This lawnmower stopped working when it hit a stump. Chances are the flywheel on the top of the engine has been shifted over a little bit, causing the timing to be off. We'll take off the top of the engine and look at the flywheel. We'll remove the top. Before I remove the top, I put a screwdriver to make sure the spring didn't recoil. Here's the flywheel that's misaligned. Loosen this nut in here and spin it off. Sure enough, you can see the pin is sheared. Here's half the pin and here's the other half of the pin. In order for this to start, this shaft has to be removed, brought over to here, and a new pin inserted. The mystery is solved on why this engine does not run because when it hit the stump, it sheared this pin. In order to fix this, the flywheel has to come off. The flywheel would need to be put on so this mark here lines up with this groove here. Then a new pin would need to be pushed in to make sure that the timing stays where it needs to be. Usually you don't have to go this deep on the diagnostics, but at least now we know what the problem is and how to fix it.